Alright now, people. Here we are on our last stop of the Doc Holliday Tour. It could be a lot longer, but I don't want to bore you. Like I say, it has nothing to do with any of his outlawing and such. I will say that when I was growing up, Doc Holliday wasn't as big a deal as he is now. And you thank Hollywood for that. He really got real popular when they come out with a movie, Gunfight at OK Corral. And that was the start of his really being famous. OK Corral is a little old bitty small place. It ain't very big at all. You might recognize where I'm at. I did the Five Wives Cemetery excursion right up the street here. What I'm about to tell you now is documented in this book. Now, let me start off like this. You look right here, you're gonna see two graves. See them? 1, 2. This grave right here has a rock on it and has a bullet on it. A lot of times it has money, a lot of money on it, playing cards. But sometimes on this one over here too, so I'm not sure which one it is, and I don't think nobody else really knows. But anyway, let me tell you about this. Kind of interesting. I didn't know about any of this till I read this book. And I'm gonna read this plaque to you here. I'll let you get a look at it. Yeah. Right there, Doc Holliday's final resting place. See that question mark? I questioned it too, but I'm gonna read this to you just the same. I dropped my whole phone now. It'd have been a big mess, wouldn't it? Alright. It says, during his adventures out west, Doc Holliday received a notorious reputation of a gambler and a gunfighter. When speaking of Doc Holliday, Wyatt Earp reportedly stated, "I found him a loyal friend and good company." Now, Wyatt Earp was his best buddy, and he didn't have a lot of friends, but he considered Wyatt to be his best. He was a dentist whom necessity had made a gambler, and a gentleman whose disease had made a vagabond. And this is what Wyatt Earp said of Doc Holliday. In reality, he was a dying man, and nothing could be done to extend his life. John Henry Doc Holliday died November 8, 1887, at the age of 36 in Glenwood Springs, Colorado, from consumption. As a lot of us know, it was tuberculosis, TB. Years earlier, the same disease claimed the lives of his mother, Alice Jane, and adopted brother, Francisco Hidalgo. Now, I spoke of him over at the house where Doc was born at and raised. Local lore claims that after hearing of his son's death, Doc's father, Henry Holliday, traveled from Valdosta westward to Colorado. Legend continues that Henry brought Doc back to Griffin to be buried in his hometown. This unmarked plot has been identified by some Holliday historians as the possible burial site of John Henry Doc Holliday, Additionally, some believe that the second unmarked grave belonged to Henry Holliday, who wished to be placed in eternal rest next to his son despite their estranged relationship. Now, talking about Valdosta, when Doc Holliday was 10 years old, his daddy moved the whole family to Valdosta to escape the war. Of course, the war finally got to him anyway, but if he'd have just stayed here in Griffin, they would have escaped because of the two camps we had, the cavalry camp and the infantry camp, and the infantry camp was donated by his daddy. But after leaving Valdosta, he went to, after he about got grown, I guess, he was probably about 19, 18, 20, somewhere around, I don't know, I wasn't there. But he went to school up north, learned to be a dentist, came back down here. I think by this time tuberculosis was already working on the old boy. So he sold the properties here in Griffin and headed out to Texas. And then from there he ended up in Tombstone, you know, and you know the rest of the story. Most of you do anyway. But when I was coming up, he was kind of, people were kind of ashamed of him here in Georgia because he was an outlaw. Things have changed over here, now it's a money-making thing here, so it's all right now. But back when I was coming up, they didn't talk much or have much good to say about Doc Holliday, you know. And but I hope you enjoyed this little tour, and I like to think he's buried here in one of these two graves, but I just don't know. But according to his cousin, he has a cousin that lives here still, Bill Dunn, and of course he's a great cousin. He had a Doc Holliday museum here for years and years, and the Welcome Center still has a Doc Holliday section in it. So if you ever get toward Griffin down here, you might want to check out the Welcome Center, go upstairs to the museum and all such as that. He does have a sister that's buried back over that way, oh, about a half mile. And she was born after he'd already left and was gone. But he does have a little baby sister that's buried over there. But I hope you enjoyed this thing, and if you get a chance, pick this book up. You can get it on Amazon. They got it. It's a good book. It's a good book. It's kind of thick, but it's a good book. I'm not saying it's the only good book on Doc Holliday, because it's not, but it is a good one. I think you'll enjoy it. It does talk about Griffin and talks about this place here. Matter of fact, I think there might even be a picture of it in there. There used to be a big old oak tree that stood right here, and they took it down, I don't know, 5, 6 years ago when they put this plaque up. So anyway, I'm gonna let y'all go, let you meditate on all this such things and all, and I just want to say, may God bless, and I'll be your huckleberry. And he really did say that. Bye.